Hello, everyone. My name is Kim Maldonado, and I am the director of the VITA program through the United Way of Lancaster County. And our session is on being a greeter with VITA. Many of you may have already been greeters, but I know there are some of you that are new to our program. So we're going to go over just a few things in order to help you as you prepare for your role as greeter and also as you prepare to take your certification test. Some of the things that we're going to look at are our mission and vision. We're going to look at daily appointments, what you will see when you go into your shift as a greeter, site flow of the site, standards of conduct, what you will be tested on, certification, and scheduling shifts. So we're going to look real quick here at our mission and our vision. VITA is committed to providing free, high-quality tax preparation to individuals and families making $70,000 or less and helping them to save and to reduce anxiety at tax time. So last year, our threshold was 60,000. This year, we were able to increase it to 70,000, and we believe that it's going to be able to help a lot more individuals in our community. And our vision is it's changing the paradigm of tax time to making it one of hope by replacing the typical frustrations with opportunities to take advantage of tax refunds and investing in the future. So I can also say we want to be there to take away the fear of tax time. And when you hear the letters IRS. So the typical site flow for any site that you go into, when you get there, is always communicate with your site coordinator. They'll give you the schedule that will list all the individuals who will be coming in for the day, and they will let you know of anything that might be unusual for that day. And it's just overall keeping good communication with your site coordinator. I will reference this quite a bit in the training. So if a client were to walk in to your site, typically what will happen is you will have the intake where you will give them the intake form, check with them that they have all of their documentation. Then you will send them to a tax preparer for tax prep. And then once the return has been prepared, then there will be someone who will do a quality review and go over that with a client. Once that quality review has been completed, and only then will the client sign the paperwork. Once the paperwork is signed, then they will be able to leave. And that all takes place in about an hour. From time to time, there will be clients who need to come back to either finish the return. I mean, we know life happens and things get in the way, and someone might need to leave in the middle of a return. That will happen. Sometimes people will need to return with a document, something they might have forgotten. So you will also find those type of things when you are a greeter. If a client comes back again, now this will depend on the site, but sometimes if a client just needs to come back, maybe show a social security card. The site coordinator will say, yeah, have them wait for a minute until someone is free, and then we'll be able to finish it up. Again, check with your site coordinator on the policy that they have. You will also have individuals who will walk in without appointments. Currently, we are not advertising that we will take walk-ins, but from time to time, it is possible that a site is able to accommodate someone who walks in without an appointment. It will, again, depend on how busy the site is. If there's anyone that maybe had a client that did not show up for appointment. This year, we will also be seeing individuals who maybe schedule the same day of an appointment. So what I'm meaning there is that someone may call in at 11 o'clock in the morning and we have an appointment open at 1 o'clock. So the schedules will say, hey, go to the site, let them know that you just scheduled the appointment and that you might not be on the list of clients. So that way they can prepare for any appointments that might just be walk-ins. So when you get to a site, like I said, you will be given a list of all the clients that will be seen that day. The list will give you the date, start time, end time. I must say this is not an actual report, only because as of the time that I'm doing this training, we have not had a report available to us. But when you get the report, what you will want to do, and when I was working as a greeter, this is what I would do. I would keep track of the individual. So, for example, we may have 4 appointments at 3 o'clock. John comes in first, then maybe Bob comes in. You would write down second, and then Joan comes in, and then maybe Sue comes in. And those are your 4 appointments for 3 o'clock. And it's based on when the individual comes in the order that they come in. And again, they'll have to complete all their paperwork, which we'll look at next. But there is a way to, just make sure that you track to make sure that people that come in first get the priority. And then again, part of your job will be to check to make sure that the individual has all their tax forms. Hopefully, when they come in, they will be prepared. You will find there will be individuals who come in with all of their documents in order, out of envelopes, in a nice folder. And then you'll also find those that come in with a plastic grocery bag with all their forms just dumped in. So you just want to check with them, make sure they have everything. Also want to check to make sure that there is a photo ID for the taxpayer and also for their spouse. Anyone who is married, filing jointly will need to have IDs, and the spouse will have to be there as well. You also want to make sure that everyone has a Social Security card for everyone that's in the household that will be on that return. Again, this is something that you may want to check with your site coordinator from time to time. People might forget one part of a child. The site coordinator may say, we'll go ahead and we'll complete the return. And when we'll have the tax preparer bring back that card, once that's done, then we'll finish the process. But each site is a little different. So again, check with your site coordinator. There, you will notice that there are forms that individuals will bring in from Social Security. And if they have that form or anything else from Social Security with their name and the last 4 digits, normally is sufficient. But again, check with your site coordinator to see what their policies are. This is the intake sheet that you will be giving to all clients who come in to have their taxes prepared. The client will fill out this form, but if they need help, you are able to help them with that if you can. This form is yellow and it is 4 pages. It is connected, so everything will stay together. And you can let the client know that if they're not able to answer everything, that's okay. The tax preparer will go over all the questions with them as part of the intake and interview. When you give the client the questionnaire, they only need to fill out pages 1 and 2. They can leave pages 3 and 4 blank. Page number 2, this is one where you will need to look at the questions and make a decision. So once the client has completed the form, ask them to return it to you. And then you will look at page number 2 at the A's and B's. So if you look at this form, all the questions are numbered, and behind the number is a letter. If any of the questions are answered yes, and they have an A after the number, that means that you will need to give this return to a tax preparer who has an advanced certification. If none of the questions that are answered yes have an A behind them, then that return could go to a basic certified tax preparer. And again, any questions, check with your site coordinator. In order to be a greeter, and actually for all volunteers, You have to pass the standards of conduct test. Please know that anytime you take a test in Link and Learn, that it is open book, open internet, but you do need to pass the standards of conduct. Everyone needs to pass the standards of conduct test with a score of 80% or higher. The next few questions will be the questions that you'll be asked on the test, and it's important to know these. But again, you can have the handouts that I send to you open while you're taking this test. But any volunteer who violates the standard of conduct can be removed, and they will be listed on the IRS registry, and the sponsoring organization can be terminated. And once you're on that IRS registry, you are not eligible to work in a VITA program ever again. So please be sure to keep all of these standards. At a VITA site, volunteers and staff cannot accept tips. You will not see a tip jar or any way for an individual to leave money, and you will find there are individuals that want to do something because they really appreciate what we do and the fact that we save them quite a bit of money. But if they do want to donate something or give something, they can contact the United Way separately, so outside of our site. But we cannot take any money or any gifts. So a VITA volunteer cannot use the tax preparation process or any information that they garnered in the process to benefit themselves for personal gain. Maybe someone is looking for a particular product or they have something on their return. You say, oh, my wife sells that, or my wife does this. You're not able to make those types of referrals. And you cannot use your own bank account to get refunds for clients. There are a number of clients that will come in that do not have a checking or savings account, and we cannot offer to allow them to use our account and then pass the money on to them. We can, no, sorry. If a volunteer omits something intentionally, it is a violation of the standards of conduct. But if it is something that's missed in good faith, it's not a violation. It's just a mistake. And we'll rectify the mistake and make it right and move on. There is a process where you can report someone who doesn't meet or breaks the volunteer standards. So you would send an email to wi.voltax, VOLTAX, at irs.gov. You can read that there. The yellow intake form, which you will give to each client upon them entering the site, has to be completed before tax preparation. And the tax preparer must interview the client with that form. And then the client needs to participate in the quality review of their return at the end. Again, as I mentioned previously, the taxpayer and the spouse must have the photo ID if they're coming in to do married filing jointly. Anyone on the return also has to have proof of a Social Security card. If the client has an advanced tax return, which you identify using the A or B after the number, then the volunteer who will prepare the return must have an advanced certification. And then also whoever does the quality review must have an advanced certification. Now, speaking of certifications are completed on a website called Link and Learn. And if you are a new volunteer, you will need to create an account, and I will walk through that. Returning volunteers, you can use the same username or email that you used previously, but you will need to change your password. And to do that, you will click on Forgot Password and follow the process. When you create a new password, and this is for new folks as well, do not use any special characters like the percentage sign, the ampersand, the asterisk, those things. Do not use any of those. And this is the link that we're going to go to then for Link and Learn. But once you hit create new account, these are the questions that you'll be asked. I have filled out the ones that you might not know, but as far as the group, you are a VITA volunteer. And then the other questions there are answer them the way that they're noted here on the form. You will say yes to volunteer in VITA or TCE, and then go down to the training source, and you'll select the option Link and Learn, and then complete your name, um, create a username, a password, confirm the password. There is a option there for SEID, but as you see, that's only for IRS employees. You need to put your email address in there, and then your regular address, your physical address, and then all that information. And then the next few questions will be a time zone. Your partner organization is United Way of Lancaster County. If this is your first year, put 0. If not, put the correct number. And then those last 3 questions about PTIN and CTEC number, you do not need to answer. Once you have all of that information entered, then you just click on register. All right, I'm going to take us to the website, hopefully. All right, so when you click on the link for Link and Learn, this is what you will see. I'm going to go ahead and log in so I can show you a few things. All right, so when you log in, you are going to want to go to Basic, and then you're going to want to click on the Volunteer Standards of Conduct exam. And when you click on the highlighted here, it will take you to the exam. But since I've completed already, it's showing me my certificate. I'm going to go ahead and click, see what happens. Yep, I already took it. So you will just need to come in. It will be a blue color. Just click on that. So once you complete the test, then what you're going to need to do is to come over here and click on Sign the Volunteer Agreement. I'm not going to do that because I'm not ready to sign mine. But you would click on here, and then you would click here to open and complete your volunteer agreement. One other thing that I want to show you, if you would like to see some information in a PDF format, you can click here and it will bring up a PDF, which is right there. And there is the standards of conduct. And you can read all of that. But basically, there are the standards of conduct that you will need to know. And I just close that box. I'm back here. Then after you complete the test and you sign by clicking there, then you want to come down here where it says click here to open and complete your volunteer agreement. So when you click there, it should bring up a file that says 13615. And this is the form that we need to have you send in to your site coordinator. So as you can see here, all that information that I entered, I passed all of the tests that I've taken so far, which next one is this one right here, the advanced. And then this form is what you will need to send to your site coordinator. I will be sending an email out soon that will list all of the sites, the name of the site coordinator, their email address, and then you can connect with them and let them know that you are interested in working at their site. For those of you that work at Fulton Bank, you will be working at the VITA on King, and so you will send me the 13615 once you have that completed. For everyone else that is a greeter at another site, you'll send that to your site coordinator. But again, once you sign it, then click on here to get that form to pop up. All right, so give me another second here. I'm going to go back to my presentation. So once you have your certification, then you are able to schedule a shift to work at one of our sites. Like I said, I'll be sending out a list of all the sites and the addresses and all the information that you'll need to know to make a decision on where you would like to work as a greeter. For those individuals that are working at Fulton Bank, you will not need to schedule your shifts through VSP. Someone there at the bank will be um, scheduling all of those shifts. Um, Hopefully you have received a login. If you haven't, please let me know and I will get you a login as soon as possible. But if you receive this email with this training in, it means you do have a login. And again, passwords from the previous year should be valid. So this is what you'll get when you go to this link here. Unfortunately, I uh, do not have the ability. Yeah, I do have the ability to send this to you, but again, you can put this into your phone, into your browser. That way you'll be able to have it handy. So when you log into VSP, this is what you will see. On the left-hand side, you will see the location and the time of the shift. And then if you look over for greeter, you'll look over a couple columns and you will see greeter. If it says volunteer now, you just double click on it and it will put your name there and you will be signed up for a shift. If you need to cancel a shift the day of, you will have to call your site coordinator. If you are able to, if you know a couple days in advance, you can go into VSP and cancel. You see on the screen there by Kim Kozer, which is my maiden name. You can click cancel there as an option. But again, if it's the same day or possibly even the evening before the day, you may have to contact your site coordinator directly. So that is our training for greeters. If you have any questions, please let me know. There's my email address and my phone number. I'll be willing to answer any questions you might have. Again, if when you get the email that I send out with all of the site coordinators on, please feel free to reach out to them as well. But you'll be able to see all the options in VSP. VSP should be available by the beginning of the year so that you can go in and start scheduling your shifts. But again, any questions, please let me know. And thank you so much for being willing to volunteer for VITA for this upcoming 2024 year. Thank you so much.